What is up?
Hey.
And welcome back to another unscripted episode. I got my little table, y'all, and it is not sturdy.
It is not. My grandfather made it.
Well, dang, way to make me feel. It's really nice. I really like it. It's not sturdy though.
I think he didn't mean for me to use it. I just took it.
Yes.
Well, Katie's going to be heading up this episode. And by Katie, that's her. I'm Shelby. And this is our third episode videoed.
Yes.
So
It's
if
been
you
great.
haven't, go back and watch those first two episodes so you can kind of see what we do on here.
But so to get started, what we're going to be talking about is Christian living, and applying biblical teaching. Well, yeah, biblical teachings to our daily lives, biblical principles, really. And one of those was your relationship with God. And so that is single-handedly the most important decision you'll ever make in your life is whenever you decide to ask God into your life. So it is very important to be intimate with Him because, and say consistent, Lord. And because it's just like with any relationship, like with a friend or, parents or just anybody, you have to stay consistent with it or you're just going to fall off. So stay in prayer, read your Bible, be real with God. Like, don't just, hey God, today was good. Just be real with Him. Talk to Him. Talk to Him like you would talk to your best friend that you tell everything to. Because that's how
He
I
already
do.
knows it.
Huh?
If you're scared to tell God something, He already knows it.
Right.
So don't be scared to tell Him something.
Exactly, and then also don't let that be the reason why you don't talk to Him because it's like, well, you already know everything anyway, so why am I going to tell you?
Mm-hmm.
I used to think that way. So don't, because I promise you, just talking to Him
and getting stuff out open.
Yeah, it helps a
Yeah.
lot. So that was one of the points. I don't know if I had a verse with that one or not.
But also, communication, if you want to have a relationship with God, and if you're like, but I don't hear God speak to me. God doesn't speak to me. Okay, I'm telling you, He does. Like, in more ways than one. Because God isn't just, most of the time, God isn't going to just be a voice that comes down from the heavens and is like, I am God. Like, he's not going to talk to you like that. He's going to come in signs and in the words you read and that little thing in your mind that tells you not to do something that everybody says is a conscience. It's not. It's God telling you.
Mm-hmm. Don't be confused either. That's a whole nother topic. I'm not even going to get on it today, but we will talk about it. But like
Confusing
in the sense of like make sure you know
that it's God.
Yeah.
Because the devil can sound like God sometimes.
Yes. So just be, what is it? What do they call it? Sober?
Vigilant?
Yeah, vigilant. And didn't he like sober-minded?
Sober-minded,
that,
maybe?
like,
I don't know.
I don't either, but yeah.
Communication, I've always said this. Communication is a two-way street.
Yep.
If you want to hear from God, you got to talk to Him.
Yes, it's not just a wait and see. But the thing about it is, He stands at the door and knocks. So He's waiting for you. He's already there.
He's already there, honey.
Needs you to make your
move.
move.
Waiting.
He's waiting.
He's waiting for you.
Yes.
We're gonna be getting all kinds of comments like, these are the most Southern girls.
Whatever. But in all seriousness, the biggest point, your relationship with God, and it's okay if you have, I guess you could say, a falling out, because I've had plenty of them, but that doesn't change my outlook on who He is. So just don't be discouraged, okay? Just keep going and keep treading, because I promise things get better. Just let the I don't know, let the wind keep blowing, I guess. I don't have anything poetic to say, so.
God made you in his own image.
Mm-hmm.
God loves you so much. Why would somebody who made you in his own image, who died for you, not want to have a relationship with you?
Right.
Because you did something wrong.
That defeats the whole purpose of what he did. Like, he wouldn't have done it if he didn't want a relationship with you.
Me and that one, we're talking earlier. We were listening to Back to Life,
Mm-hmm.
and it says, and I've heard other songs that say something to this effect. Jesus, to fully thank you, it would take all eternity.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, girl, this is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, what's so crazy? And I was like, if I do something for you, I don't expect you to pay me back, but normally you'd say, oh, well, you did this for me back,
So I'm going
so
to
I'm
do
going to
this
do this
for
for
you.
you. How can we repay that? Like, he was so perfect. And she was like, we die. Like, that's how we repay it. We die. And I was like, no, because that would not be the same. Because he didn't do anything wrong. He didn't sin. He was perfect and died this terrible death.
Mm-hmm.
And really, we deserve that. We deserve that terrible death because we've done all this wrong. But he did it for us.
Right.
So how do we repay that?
There is no repaying
There
that.
is no repaying that. But thank
He doesn't
goodness.
expect anything.
He doesn't expect anything.
Because
That is so crazy to me.
I know, that's always blew my mind. It's like, man, and then that's where guilt comes in and like
Mhm.
absolutely destroys
Yeah.
you, because it's like, and you know, he's never done anything to me, and
Mhm.
I'm
Messing up again
breaking his
and
heart.
again and again. And
But good thing is, he's always there.
he's always there. And here's the thing. He doesn't expect anything. So all of it, like, trying to repay him, like, God, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this because you died for me. I'm going to do this because you died for me. Do it for him. Because you can't repay that debt.
No, but you can't repay that debt, but that's why everything that we choose to do in our lives should be for the glory of God. He should get the glory and at the end of every outcome that we do. Like, everything in our lives should be to glorify him. That's what I think. We can't repay him, but spending our whole lives on this earth glorifying him in everything that we do, and spreading his word to others so that they understand what he did for them. I think I said that right. Yeah. And there's no repaying that, but knowing that we were loyal to what he taught us and commanded us to do, that's what makes us a good and faithful servant, you know. So we stay to his path and his path only. And trust me, you're going to come to a bunch of paths, but just keep going straight.
Until you get into the yellow brick road.
Why's it got to be yellow?
I was doing Wizard of Oz.
Yes. So, but that being said, the second point to the Christian living was love and compassion. And this is a big one because there is a lot of greedy and envious people. I'm even one of those.
It's human nature.
Right. It's like you can't help it. Like you can be a good person, but there's still a part of you that's going to be envious over somebody or, have greed and be selfish over something like, well, I don't have that, so I'm not going to give. And, and that you can't be that way because God constantly loved, everybody. That's what I love about reading the Gospels and how Jesus, what he did, he just showed love towards everybody. And it's like, it was crazy to them whenever they were shown this love. And it brought so much joy to these people who had experienced it. And that, I'm big on compassion, because I don't expect anybody to know what I'm going through, just like I don't expect to know what someone else is going through. But I want to be there for them in every way that I can and be support and an encouragement to them. And it's very important to be that because you never know what somebody's going through.
I'm just going to let y'all know. Everybody needs a Katie in their life. I'm just saying. Like, you are just so, like, okay, let's talk it out and let's get through it. Or you are like, you don't have to tell me. I'm going to be there for you, and I'm going to be praying for you through this. And I strive to be like you.
Well, I'm glad I am. I mean, I'm glad I am like that. I strive to be one of those people, especially to my close friends and family, because if I can't be that to y'all, I'm not going to be able to anybody else. Because y'all mean more to me than, it probably shouldn't be that way, but outside my circle.
Yeah.
So, I still care about everybody. I cannot physically, well, I don't know if it's physically, but, I guess hate somebody. Like, there's always going to be a part of me that's like, well, you don't know what they went through. You don't know what put them in that position, So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing.
I think it's a good thing and a bad thing. Because sometimes people need that straight order.
And I give you straight order.
like the not the soft, like
tough love?
Yeah, they need the tough love.
Mhm. Yeah.
My mom is the queen of tough love.
Yes. She is. She just like sometimes she has like no emotion. She's
no emotion.
She's like very nonchalant about a lot of stuff. It'll be like dead serious. It's like, okay.
Oh, like last night, she said, "I'm going to bed. Good night." I said, "Good night. Love you." She said, "Love you most." I said, "Are you Mother Gothel from Tangled? I knew you were trying to. Are you?" Or something like, "I knew you were trying to use me to keep you young." She said, "You found out."
Yeah, no. My mom, like, let me tell you something. My mom and my grandfather, they are big on compassion. I would say my whole family, but mainly my mama and my grandfather because he's my papa. That's what he is. They love so deep, y'all. Oh my gosh! If y'all ever met them, you would understand how
they do.
Like I strive to, and my grandmother, she is too. But it's just crazy. I was very fortunate to, have a family who they love everybody, and they want to be a light to everyone.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why it's a big thing to me to make sure I'm a compassionate person, because that's how Jesus was. He showed compassion to everybody, and I grew up watching it because of my family, how they loved everybody they came across. It was never judgment first. It was always, well, how can I help you? What can I help you to get you better? What can I do to put you in a better position so you don't fall back down?
Yeah.
So that's how I strive to be.
I'm a very, deep relationship person. I don't like the surface level. How are you doing? I like the, oh yeah, we just met a few minutes ago, but what, do you believe in Jesus?
Yeah.
And I like to dig and
That reminds me of something. Whenever we was in Guatemala and we got on the horses, Shelby was like, I'm gonna ask the dude that's she was like, I'm gonna ask him if he knows Jesus.
and he kept avoiding the question.
She got so excited about it. I was sitting there struggling trying to get up on my horse because we was like slanted. And she was like, I'm supposed to go ask him if he knows Jesus.
And I did. I was like, so do you know Jesus? And he was like, my mom? And I was like, no, not your mom. He did not speak English. And the translators were not around. And it was not okay. Like, he kept avoiding the question. And at that point, like, didn't he, like, I can't remember. It was like 2 years ago. But
I know mine.
didn't he, like, walk away or something?
I
Or,
think-
like, stop answering?
I don't
No,
know.
he was talking in English. He was talking in English, and I was like, so do you know who Jesus is? And I was like, and he was like, Jesus? And I was like, yeah, Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
And he was like, Jesus Christ. And I was like, Jesus Christ, like, do you believe that Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior? And he goes, Jesus Christ, no habla inglés. And I was like, we've been talking this whole time.
He knows. He's been through this before.
He's not the first missionaries he took on that mountain.
No English. And it's so funny, dude.
I love when people avoid it. I know
it's-
that you should not love that, but it's so funny because I'm like,
Because I'll tell you how it is. We're like those people who come and knock on your door. Just like, do you have a moment for God today?
Yeah.
It's like, ooh. And I always have a moment for Jesus, y'all. But, ooh, that was funny.
they're,
Mine was
we're
getting...
like the, no, I'm not going to say that, but
Don't say that. Mine was getting a cup of noodles.
what?
He left me to go get some noodles.
You're the guy who was leading?
Yeah. Mike walked with me.
And then who? Isaac and Bradley, like, walked up the volcano. That's what it was. It wasn't a mountain. It was a volcano. They walked
Did I
up
say
it.
Did I say a mountain?
I think I said mountain.
Oh. That was so funny, y'all. Oh my gosh. But you're not a surface level.
I'm not a surface level person, and it's not anything different from, like, if we're friends, I don't want to have the surface level conversations. I want to have the deep conversations. And people don't get that.
Mm-mm.
People don't like that, especially in today's world. The getting deep and the talking about theology and what they
Theology is-
believe.
Yeah.
They just don't like that. And it bothers me so much because that's what I like. I like the getting deep. Like, my dad does this at random times, and he does it at the, like, most awful times because I'm trying to, like, leave or something. And he's like, so how's college? Like, you know, like surface level questions.
Right.
And I'm like, it's good. He's like, you got friends? I'm like, yeah, I got friends. And he's like, let me ask you this, and I'll let you go. I'm like, okay. He's like, are you truly happy in college?
Why do
I'm
you want
like-
to ask me something like that?
Where is this coming from? I'm leaving.
How's college? You got friends? Are you really happy?
Like, he just, and I'm like, I can't do this right now. Because if he gets any deeper, I'm going to cry because I cry about everything. But if he gets anything deeper, I'm going to start crying. And I can't afford that right now. I'm trying to leave. I'm trying to skedaddle.
Yeah, don't be getting serious with me whenever I ain't trying to get serious. Gosh.
So I think I get that from my dad, like the deep questions. Like I asked him the other day, I was like, so my roommate, I almost said her name, my roommate, she came in the room and she was like, today was our last class in Bible, and he was telling us all about this crazy stuff, and I was like, okay, what is he telling you? And she was like, he doesn't believe in the rapture.
What?
And I said, okay, let's dive deep into this, because we're not just ending that there. So she goes in to say he doesn't believe that one day we're all just gonna like ascend. Okay, guys, we had a little difficulty, but we fixed it. But back to the thing. So my dad is a Baptist pastor, and what he says to me is what I'm going to believe,
Right.
basically. And he said that we are not going to ascend into the heavens. Jesus is going to come down, and when he comes down, he's basically going to make this heaven. He's going to combine heaven and earth. And when he does that, like the people who were not of God are going to be sent to hell. But we get to stay here, but it's going to be heaven.
Okay, so it's not... Sorry. So it's... If you've ever seen Left Behind, it's... They just disappear, and then it basically becomes like hell on earth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like... It's chaos everywhere. So...
Basically, it's going to be heaven on earth.
Right. Okay.
Like Disney World.
I've never been to Disney World. I wouldn't know that. No, I was just saying, like, you know, that's why I feel like it's very important that whenever you're reading about that, the rapture, the signs, be sure to have somebody with you and helping you understand what you're reading so it doesn't freak you out, because just talking about it and not really getting the best understanding on it, it scares me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you, it freaks me out. Like, I'm ready to be with Jesus, but if I'm here during the rapture, whew.
My biggest fear. So, like, people fear of, like, infertility and, like, stuff like that, you know? My biggest fear is that Jesus is going to come back before I get a family.
That was my brother's, but...
Now he's got a family.
Yeah, I was about to say, it was an answered prayer. Nobody knows that. My brother, he used to tell me all the time, he was like, I love Jesus and everything, but I want a family.
I want a family so freaking bad.
I had to tell him all the time. I was like, well, he knows that, and you'll get it.
I want the farm style house.
Who don't? Who don't? I'm just...
I want a farm style house, like with a little like wraparound porch
a
swing.
I want a big white house with a wraparound porch and blue shutters.
I don't know if I want my house to be white though.
I like white brick. Ooh, squirrel.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. We unhinged and unworthy. That should be the name of the podcast. Unhinged and unworthy.
My nephew.
Oh, he's so cute.
Okay.
Nobody knew what that meant.
They'll be crazy if I say, oh, it's my little black nephew.
You know what we're talking about? You don't? Okay, we have a camera woman. My buddy, my black best friend who went to Guatemala with us. You know who I'm talking about? Okay, that's nephew. He called me Mama Shelby and her auntie.
He came up to me at church. He said, man, he's like, Auntie, where you been? I said, I've been hanging around. He said, why ain't you wearing your shirt? Because I have an auntie shirt. And I told him I got it for him.
He calls me Claire Share, and I told him not to. For those of you who don't know, my middle name is Claire. He calls me Claire Share, and I told him not to call me that because it makes me sound like a hooker.
You gotta have... Never mind. No. Never mind.
Never mind. Katie did not just say you need to have a hooker name.
Everybody has a hooker name. Maybe. But look, it's most definitely going to be what your parents used to call you.
Or my
people
parents
used
called
to
me
call
Claire
you.
Bear.
That just sounds like a bear. Like one of the Care Bears. Is that what
Yeah.
they're called?
She would call me Claire Bear or sister.
I don't know. I don't have a hooker name. So, I'm different dog.
I'm gonna come up with your hooker name. Okay, let's get back on Jesus.
But the title, Jesus and Hooker.
That cannot be the title.
I know, but that's
Because
just
this is
funny
going
'cause
on YouTube. YouTube is
that's-
not gonna let that slide.
That's how our names used to be last season. Jesus and Hookers. Oh, God help us. Whew.
The
Okay.
rapture and hooker.
The rapture. But love and compassion was our last one. So love. Love
everybody all the time.
That's actually a commandment.
Yeah. So
Love your neighbors as yourself, and honestly, that needs to be talked about too. The love that you should have for yourself, because you should ultimately love and respect yourself. And I know it's very hard because I don't the
Yeah.
way you should. But oh my gosh, where'd it go? Oh, but here's this one. I love this one. It's just, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. Not that they just see your good deeds, but what you're doing the good for. I was trying to explain that because it
Yeah.
says that they may see your good deeds. Don't do it so that they see you doing it. Do it because they're going to see God in what you're doing.
I saw this thing, and it said, when people see me, I don't want them to say, "Oh, look, it's Shelby.
I see God in her.
I see God in her." I want them to say, "I see God in her." I don't want them to say, "Oh, it's Shelby." Like, I want them to see the goodness of God in me. And somebody, I will never forget this, because somebody in the church, at Overflow, told me, after I got done leading worship, I got out, and I will never forget this for like the rest of my days. It made like my entire life. I got off the stage, and he's a little bit younger than me, and he grabbed me and he said, "Hey, I need to talk to you." And I was like, "Okay, buddy, what's up?" And he goes, "No, like, can we like go off to the side?" And I was like, "Yeah, what's up?" So we went off to the side, and he goes, "I just want to let you know that whenever you're on stage, you have this inviting presence that invites everybody around you to worship."
Right. I know. That's a...
And that was the highlight of 2023 for me. He said, you have this inviting presence that invites everyone around you to worship. And so much so that we feel compelled to
Right.
worship. And made my heart... I said, "Buddy, thank you." Okay, I'm just going to let y'all know, for our new listeners, my therapist says that a lot. "Buddy." That's all I say now.
Buddy.
Buddy. And so, but, it's just that right there. That's what I want to hear.
Right. Because it shows that you're doing...
That I'm doing the Lord's work.
Right.
And that's all I want to do is the Lord's work. That's why I'm...
It's almost like you use that little boy as like, I'm telling you that you're doing a good job.
Yeah. And that was whenever I started... If you did listen to last episode, I mentioned that I had started to decline in my relationship with God. That was whenever the decline started. It was right before that. And that should have been like the
The
click fixed,
right.
but it wasn't. And
It's
now that I look back, it helps me now so much.
right. Well, it's because you were doing what you were supposed to be doing, and that makes a certain somebody very upset. Because if we all just sit back and come to realize how much, like, how God can move through us and what He can do with that power within us terrifies the devil. Because
Yeah.
if we realized how big that is and, like, use it,
Mm-hmm.
it would be over with. It'd be game over. And that's why he does everything he can to distract you and keep you from God.
I don't know why. I think I'm going. My brain is going back to the point of love and compassion.
Mm-hmm.
And about 2 years ago, less than 2 years ago, maybe a year ago, I had a falling out with a friend, and after a couple of months of us basically not speaking at all, she messaged me, I messaged her, and we just kind of messaged back a little bit, and then she said something to the effect of, "I thought you didn't love me anymore." And just automatically, my heart hurt, because I never want someone to feel like I don't love them.
Right. Because that's an awful feeling.
That's an awful feeling. And so I told her, I said, there is nothing that can happen to us, our relationship, that will make me stop loving you. I will always look. There is nothing you can do to make me stop loving you. And then it smacked me in the face. Oh, that's what God's saying.
It's funny how he does that.
That's what God's saying. You can run into a brick wall.
It's a punch in the throat moment, wasn't it?
Yes. And he said, there's nothing. So, you know that saying, love like Jesus?
Mm-hmm.
That's what that is. There is nothing. Katie, I'm looking you dead in your eyes right now. There is nothing you could do to make me stop loving you. Now, you could make me upset with you. Now, there will be times where I don't like you. Fights happen. People get upset. But there's nothing you could do to make me stop loving you. Same goes for my family, for my friends, the people I'm close to. Get close to God.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's very important.
that feeling that you have when somebody loves you. Oh my! Find somebody to love you, and find Jesus.
Find somebody to love you. That wow. But
it's such an amazing feeling.
it is an amazing feeling, and it's even more great whenever you realize how much God loves you. Like, because whenever you're put in that position that you just talked about, it's like it made you realize, like, that's how God loves me.
Yeah,
You know,
there's nothing I can do, and it's so crazy.
It is. It's insane. And I think if we ever really experienced true, like all his love, like everything he had to give, which I mean, he already gave.
I think we
everything.
would be overwhelmed.
Because it already is overwhelming.
Yeah.
Because our minds are so different, because we think differently. It's almost like, you want to say it's like a fairy tale,
Mm-hmm.
but it's actually a true story. it actually happened. It's not.
Those stories in the
He-
Bible are
he-
not stories.
I mean, it was awful. Like what he went through was absolutely awful, but he came back 3 days later. That's a fairy tale ending.
Mhm.
That's amazing, and he'll come back again,
yeah.
and it'll be a fairy tale ending. You know, because you always.
Yeah.
My mama's always talking about, it's like, you know, what it'd be like to have a Hallmark life, like a Hallmark movie. Like, it's always going to have a good ending, you know,
Mhm.
especially whenever you're so used to kind of, I guess you could say, disappointment. But it's like, we are going to get that. You're going to experience that. You know, we're going to get, like, the big bang.
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty cool.
And I cannot wait for heaven. Like, yeah, I'm ready for a family and I'm ready for all that. But when I think about heaven, and have you ever seen that painting? It's like when you first get to heaven, and it's like that woman, and she's
Yes. I
she's
love it.
hugging Jesus so hard, and I love it so much, and I'm just imagining that hug.
I know. I have imagined it so many times. So many times.
I saw this thing, and we're gonna do an episode about this TikTok that I saw, and it was, what have you seen that was too big to be a coincidence that you were like, this is God?
Mhm.
And somebody said I was down on my luck and I was about to give up on life, and I said, I cried out to God, if I can just have a hug, everything would be better. And he said, and I felt a warm squeeze.
Mhm.
Nobody was there with me, but I felt a warm squeeze on my body, and then a release. And I knew.
I wouldn't have wanted the release.
Huh?
Said I wouldn't
I
have wanted the
know.
release. He'd just be making me impatient.
I know. But
More impatient than I
like-
am.
that's so amazing.
That is crazy amazing. Whenever he shows up, he shows out. Like, I mean, every time. It's never a dull moment whenever God shows up.
Mhm.
It is insane, y'all. If you've never experienced a God moment,
It's
oh, just get ready and be prepared for when you do. Because it literally is crazy. Crazy amazing. And it doesn't even have to be like a big old thing that happens. It can he shows up in moments you wouldn't believe. Like, I told you about, like, one of our houses got taken by a tornado. Okay, this was one of the deadliest tornadoes. And my grandfather, a couple days before, come put a Jesus sticker on my window, and it took out all the houses. And we live in a subdivision, y'all. And it took out all the houses. Ours was the only one standing. There was one perfect circle in the bathroom window, and everything else was fine to relieve the pressure so that the house wouldn't go. We were perfectly fine. We were actually the only ones able to help anybody because nobody could get to us. That was a wow God moment for us. Like, my mom, whenever she talks about it, it gives her chills because that tornado took everything. Everything.
that's crazy.
Insane. Because my grandfather was like, like in my room, he had a sticker that he had put on my window. And it was insane. Whew.
When I think of a wow God moment, I think of D-Now. What year is that? 22? Is it last? No.
No. Mm-mm. No, it was, girl, it was like, did we,
21, I think.
did we do D-Now during COVID?
No.
Did we? Oh,
Yes, we did. We did.
Did we have
because
it?
it was before COVID hit. Because it was in February.
Oh, yeah, it was. It was like a new okay.
But it was, you went down to the altar on that Sunday after dinner.
Oh, yes, girl.
And then I was like, well, I'm not going to let her be down there by herself.
Yeah.
I'm going to be there to support you. And so I went down there.
I
And then a
always went
couple
to
of
the
other
altar, y'all.
people. And then a couple of other people. And then a couple of other people.
Y'all, I'm big about going to the altar because I'm not one of those that I don't lift my hands a lot or anything when I
I
worship.
do.
I'm a swayer. I sway a lot. But I'm big on changing posture, so I go down to the altar, and sometimes I cry, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just stay in the moment down there with God. I'll listen to the music. Sometimes I won't even say anything. I'll just change my posture because sometimes that's just all you need to do. And so instead of standing and lifting my hands, I kneel before Him because I find comfort there. You know, that's why I haven't been to the altar in a while, but I don't necessarily just go when I have a problem and I need to pray about it. I go to the altar because it's like I find my peace there. Because after I leave, I have a lot of anxiety, so even especially during church, y'all. And I'll go to the altar and I'll have relief, you know. And because I'll be singing and stuff, but I just like get really. I swear He always attacks me in church. It gets on my nerves. And, I'll always get real lightheaded and I'll get real bad anxiety. And so sometimes I'll either sit down or I'll close my eyes and I'll talk to God. And I don't ever, I always look up and close my eyes.
Yeah.
Because I'm singing to Him. I'm talking to Him. So that's intimacy. Change your posture when you want to get intimate with Him because it's big, you know. Because whenever you do that, it's also like, I guess it's kind of like an honor thing too. Like it's a big thing, you know. Have those intimate moments with Him because they are so important, y'all. Oh my goodness. And those in itself are wow God moments because when it's nobody around, it's just you and Him, and He gives you this, you can just breathe, and especially to somebody like me who can't.
Yeah.
It's very important.
I don't know why, but almost every time I'm just in the moment with God. And I'm not a altar person. Like, sometimes I'm an altar person, but most of the time I'm a hands person.
Yeah, that I was about to say, we're different.
Yeah.
I like watching you worship. You're one of those where you can tell it's intimate with you.
Music is how I connect with God.
I was about to say, and I love music, but I can't connect. I can connect with God, but not in the way that you do with music. And that's what I love because it's two completely different things.
I know.
It's
we
awesome.
get little different perspectives.
It is. It's awesome. I love it.
Yes, but whenever I'm just in the moment, there's no music playing, and I'm praying or something, music will come to me,
Right.
and it'll just play in my mind, and I've noticed this for a couple of months now. Every time this happens, one song comes to my brain, and it's only one line of the song, and it's the all glory and honor, dominion and power to you. So, do it again. Glory and honor, dominion and power to you.
I like how you break down songs.
Oh, I love breaking down songs. I
love how you break
love
down songs.
finding the scriptural parts in the songs, and whenever I did youth worship, and what?
It's some of the secular
Yeah.
music songs. It
Oh,
sounds
that's
like
so much
those are
fun.
y'all. Look, you know you're a Christian whenever it's like that was a reach to God.
Oh
Like,
no, I listened to a One Direction song. I sent it to you.
yes.
There was a One Direction song that I was like, oh my god, this could be sang to Jesus.
No, oh my gosh, this dude, he was worshiping. He started singing Elvis, and
Mhm.
it was the wait, what was it? What did he sing? Dude, he was singing something. Oh man, you continue. I gotta think of the song.
But whenever I was doing youth worship, that was how I did it. Like every time I'd send out the music, or almost every time I sent out the music, I would say, and look into the meaning behind the songs, really connect with the songs, because I doubt they ever did it, because one, they're teenagers, they just want to sing and get it over with.
Right. Ooh,
but-
I love worship.
I love worship, but it's just whenever you connect, and I think it's a me thing, because like you said, like you don't connect to music.
On the in the sense how you do. I love
Yes.
music and I can connect to it, but
how I do.
not like you.
Yeah. I love it. Just
'Cause
breaking down the words.
Because I would say I'm a big music person, and my grandfather does the same thing.
Mhm.
He loves breaking down music.
And that's why I do the music fast, is because it gets me, like I'm doing, like, we're recording this on December 30th, 2023, so we have not started the Bible recap yet.
No, we have not.
But that's what I'm doing to get in the mindset.
In the mindset of it, yeah, that's a good idea.
In the mindset that it's all for God. It's all for God. I'm being intentional with what I'm listening to. I'm being intentional with what I'm watching, what I'm reading. Like I'm doing that.
Right, because you have to be, because it's so easy for it mind
Just
to
to-
wander, to want it, yeah. But
I'm so in, like, I'm trying so hard this time, and I'm so ready.
me too. I really want to do this because I enjoyed it so much whenever I wish I would have never stopped, because like I legit loved it. Like I loved like dissecting everything. When I tell you my Bible, like this ain't the Bible that I had a different one. Every page.
Yeah.
It was written. Everything. Like, and I love doing that. And it's so funny because I'll just be sitting there, I'll be talking to myself. I'll be talking to Jesus, but like my brother, I was praying loud. My little brother's in the room, and his door was open and stuff, and he was just doing something. He said, "Are you praying or something?" He walks out there, and I'm like, "Yeah, man, what?" He said, "I just wanted to know because I could hear you." And I said, "Oh, okay." And he was just like, "I was just wanting to know." He was like, "I kind of like it."
One of my cousins, she does not know this, but she actually is the one who helped me come up with the fact with doing the Christian music fast.
Mhm.
Because the little one. You know who I'm talking about when I say the little one?
Yeah.
Okay. She used to listen to Marry Your Daughter all the time. That's all she wanted to listen to. I don't know if does she still listen to that all the time? Sometimes.
Mhm.
So, and most of the time she would ride with me, it would be in my car. It would be on Sundays. And she would always want to listen to it. I got so tired of it. So I told her, it's Sunday, we can only listen to Christian music. Christian music only in this car on Sundays. She was like, okay. So now, like, whenever we get in the car, she's like, oh, it's Christian music today on Sundays. I was like, yep, Christian music on Sundays.
Oh, that's
I
good.
did it just so that she would stop. But then I was like, wait, what if I did that for like a long period of time and I didn't listen to anything except Christian music?
Mhm.
And then I was like, oh, wait, that's a fast. Like, that's...
Well, yeah,
And
that's a good idea though. Being for real, because a lot of secular music has a lot to it. So you don't need to be listening to it, especially whenever you're trying to have a heart and mind
Mhm.
like Jesus, because it's,
Yeah. And like I'll stop in a couple of days, and I'll stop and this is so funny. I think it's so funny. I'll stop as a test.
As a test, that's a good, yeah.
I'll stop as a test, and I'll see if whenever I do that, whenever I stop, am I still in that mindset of
Right.
being intentional and trying so hard with God. And like I'm going to New York in a couple of days, so there's a lot of secular stuff in New York.
Did you see where they like shut down Times Square for
The lights,
yeah,
the Christmas
everything?
story.
They told the story.
Yes,
I was surprised.
I was surprised too. I saw
did
that.
not expect that.
I saw that. I got so happy.
I was happy too. I was like, oh my gosh, they're doing this.
Oh my gosh.
Look at Jesus.
Look at Jesus. Look at
Yo, I'm
Jesus
always
in Times
like,
Square.
I was like, I saw
Showed
this-
it to all my family.
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
saw
this
this-
is so amazing.
Yes, it's awesome, y'all. Everything. He but so because we did kind of get a little off topic, but as long as the topic is Jesus, that's fine
We're
with me.
good.
But the main point of, I guess,
This
what
episode.
I was trying to get was kind of like Christian living, and what we talked about is kind of like that, like her worshiping. That's how
Yeah.
she is intimate with God. That's how she grows her relationship, not just reading her Bible. A lot of people have a bunch of different ways, just like, and I love hers and how she shows that in everything that she does. It's really great, and as more you keep watching, you'll realize. But
Talk
big
about
thing,
music a lot.
yeah, yes we do. I have not sang the songs because it would be a squirrel moment. And I don't want to do that. So Christian living is not easy.
It's
And
not.
there is a few more points that, of course, I wanted to get to, but your relationship with God and making sure in this relationship you're doing
His work.
well, His work, and everything that you do is to glorify Him and to benefit the kingdom of God. That's what we want. And having that love and compassion, not just for the people around you, but also people that it might be hard to love and be compassionate for. Maybe somebody who hurts you or, betray, like in anything like that. It's hard. And we'll get on that one day about, forgiveness and how important it is. But just don't give up on somebody so easily. Like
Have
sometimes...
compassion.
Exactly. Sometimes it's hard because if it happens over and over and over again, it's just it's hard because it's like you want to lose hope. But you read stories in the Bible. Oh, so and so waited this long for something to happen, and it happened. You can't just give up on it. That, in a way, is like you're not trusting in God to fulfill His plan. Because it's like you're waiting on something, but He's doing something in their life. Like,
Mhm.
you can't live like that. You have to just keep praying, keep moving, and just keep hoping. Hope is a big thing that things are going to change. The outcome is going to be better from where I started to now. So you just be hopeful, be loving, get intimate with God, be compassionate, and just be a light, because it is very important to show you love and to be an encouragement. You have no idea what your smile and your just being a happy person can do for somebody. Like, it doesn't even the subject doesn't even have to be about Jesus. It just, be that encouragement. It is very important. I know there's been people in my life whenever I've been upset who have been that to me, and it really helps. So, I did want to read something. I gotta move this. I gotta sit up. Hold on. Because, y'all, it's Romans. Romans got some good stuff in it.
Mhm.
So, first it was Romans 12. I want to read 1 and 2. And this is ESV.
I don't know what
English
version of
Standard
that
Version.
was.
Is English Standard Version? Isn't that what it is? Nope. Yeah, it's ESV.
Okay.
It's the one your dad uses.
She loves my dad.
Who don't?
A bunch of people.
Shut up. Anyways, excuse me. Romans 12, 1 through 2. It says, I appeal to you, therefore, brothers, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your spiritual worship. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. So, having a relationship with God and feeding the Spirit is very important so that you won't be conformed to the ways of the world, because you got to feed your spirit, because if you're not feeding your spirit, you're feeding your flesh, and you don't want to do that.
Woo! Preach.
But there was another one, and it's fulfilling the law through love, and it's chapter 13. I think I did 8 through
Romans 13, 8 through.
I think I just did.
Just read to like what you think, and then.
Yeah, it was 8 through 10. Okay, it says, yeah, that's the name of the little section, is fulfilling the law through love. Owe no one anything except to love each other, for the one who loves another has fulfilled the law. For the commandments, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not murder, shall not steal, shall not covet, and the other commandment are summed up in this word, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. Love does no wrong to a neighbor, therefore love is the fulfilling of the law. Yeah, that was the little section. So, love does no wrong to a neighbor, therefore love is the fulfilling of the law. So, just, it's important to be love and kind, and we preach that a lot, and it is definitely preached a lot in the Bible, because that is who God was, that's who Jesus was, and that's who he wants us to be. And you should strive to, in your daily walk with God, to be all of who he was. We have flesh, so we can't, but the whole point is to try and to strive to be that way. So, that's all I had for like the verses wise, and I'll have more next time, guys. But read Romans.
We'll get to Romans, because what are we doing?
The Bible recap.
The Bible recap. Have you read your Bible recap?
But a lot of people just, if you aren't doing it, read.
That's okay.
If you're new at it and it
scares you,
yeah,
because it's a lot.
Yeah, and especially the Old Testament is. Start with the Gospels: Matthew, Mark, Luke,
John.
Yeah. See, you just.
Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Yeah, because there's 4.
Yeah, 4 Gospels. Yeah. And then Acts after that is really good. So, read those, because it's Jesus' walk, and I kind of like it in the perspective of each of the Gospels. So you get a different perspective in
every
each
time.
one, and it's great. So,
like we say.
I was going to say, did you have anything to close out with?
No, I think we can end it here. But, like we say, every episode,
Jesus loves you.
We love you. And we hope you have a good night, day, month, week, whatever time you're listening to this.
Leaving this with you. Love God, love people. So,